Welcome to the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast with Stephanie A. Wynn, an online health and wellness podcast where I, your host, will provide weekly wellness tips about inflammatory bowel disease, specifically Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. The Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast is a mixture of special guest interviews from healthcare professionals, IBD survivors, Crohn's survivors, ulcerative colitis survivors, and community thought leaders. Be sure to select the subscribe button and let's start the health and healing process from the inside out. We are back for another episode of the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast. I am your host, Stephanie A. Wynn, and we are super excited because we have a special guest in the building today. So before we get started, you guys know I like to talk about the renewing of the mind. You can't start the healing process until we get that mind right. And what do I mean by that? That means that you have to be willing to change the way you've been thinking before you start the healing process, or even try to start to feel better when you're either under the weather or have been diagnosed with a chronic illness. It starts with your mind. You have to be determined that you will not let this thing validate who you are or take over your mind, your body, right? And your spirit. So we have to have a growth mindset. And so to do that, it's going to require that you take the initiative of learning about what's going on with your body, learning that whatever goes in has to come out. So here at the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast, we want to help you with understanding like how to get through those challenging moments when you don't know what else to do, right? So we're going to get right into this episode. I am super excited because our special guest is Bianca Flemister, and she is CEO of the Virtual Business Solutions. And this episode is really going to be like different because we're talking about our symposium that took place this year. Our symposium, the Let's Talk IBD Health and Wellness Symposium, was amazing. I mean, it was like we put in the work. We put in the work and it came out amazing. But this year, our focus was just bringing awareness. And we have one of our executive assistant on here with us, Bianca. Welcome to the show. Introduce yourself to the audience.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you for having me, Stephanie. My name is Bianca, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer at Virtual Business Solutions.
Awesome. So tell us, Bianca, like, what is it that you do at Virtual Business Solutions?
So we offer comprehensive business-to-business solutions from end to end. Executive Virtual Assistant is one of them, which is what conducted here at the event. That's just one of many options that we have for business owners. We also assist business owners with business development. So that's more like setting up your business structure, making sure it's an LLC that you should have, or an S Corp or C Corp. And we also offer tax professionals, tax preparation services, and also notary training and coachings.
Wow, that's what's up. Like that, you helping them get their business together, get your business right on all major levels. We're super excited to have you here. Like I said, at the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast, we're laid back and we really want to bring nothing but information that's going to help assist our audience. And we specifically focus on the IBD, the inflammatory bowel disease community, because as you know, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease 4 years ago, and it took going through 5 doctors, 2 rectal and colon specialists, and 3 gastroenterologists. And so my goal is to really, really help our community not just thrive, but not have to suffer in silence. So with that being said, you attended the Let's Talk IBD Health and Wellness Symposium this year. What was your thoughts about the symposium?
My reflections on the Let's Talk IBD Health and Wellness Symposium are that I was excited to be in the room with everyone, to see the movement in the community. You know, everything that you do is impeccable. The things you offer are amazing. So working alongside of you, attending the event, and listening to like the keynote speakers set the tone perfectly, stressing the importance of dialogue and education when it comes to inflammatory bowel disease, IBD. Witnessing the collective dedication towards raising awareness about this condition in our community was very motivating. I mean, to sit there and hear what they have to say about it, listening to the questions that the attendees were asking, I was excited to hear it because I didn't know anything about it. So to be there and to listen to everything that was said was amazing. The turnout was wonderful.
You know, it was so amazing. Like, and I so appreciate you for coming in with Essential Business Solutions and helping us be like, for us being you being our executive assistant during our symposium. Listen, y'all, like, you can't do everything. Like, you cannot do everything, and you need help. And you don't have to suffer in silence. I talk about this all the time. Like, we have to not allow ourselves to, we have to put aside the pride. We have to just ask for help. What is that saying? Closed mouths don't get fed. So if you don't ask, nobody's going to know that you need help. So you're going to either sink or swim. And you don't want to sink. So that leads me into my next question. Did you know anything about like IBD? Have you ever heard of IBD?
Never. I never heard of it, never knew what it was until I met you. And listening to your story and just learning the things that you're going through, the conversations we would have, personally, it was just, it's a lot of information you give. And I'm learning throughout this process. And, again, working along the sides of you, listening to you speak about it, the things you go through, the things others go through, and just the stories. I mean, I'm educated through knowing you, and through attending the event and hearing what everyone else had to say. So to answer the question, I never knew anything about it, didn't know the terminology of what IBD was, didn't understand it. I'm now understanding it. And then again, that's by listening to your story, the stories you tell, your media, your social media, and attending the event. So I'm glad I do know, because if I ever had anything going on, to this situation, I would probably look into something like this. And of course, reach out to you in regards to this. So I'm excited that you have this out there because it needs to be talked about. I didn't know about it. Attending the event, there were so many people that had the same issue. So it was like, wow, to see that and for them to see their faces and see how excited they were to receive the information that was given. It was very exciting.
And to add to that, what I've learned is that, we talk about suffering in silence. And I think in the African American community, we have been taught, well, you don't speak about certain things or certain conditions. If you have certain conditions, like that's just to be tucked under, under the rug and you don't speak about that. And so how do you not speak about something? We have to change that stigma. We have to remove that stigma so that we can start getting the help that we need, getting the resources. So that's why our symposium for 2024, our focus is going to be on access. And I truly believe that when you provide the underserved communities with access, because people don't know what they don't know, right? And if you provide them with access, that's just going to help them be more proactive. So you're now, instead of being reactive, you're proactive. Like you're getting your colonoscopies, or you have a primary care physician, you have a whole healthcare team, you have an IBD specialist, you have a full team, you have a GI specialist, you have an IBD specialist, you have a primary care physician, you have a mental health therapist, because you're going to need some type of therapy when you're diagnosed with a chronic illness. Sometimes we don't want to go to therapy, but therapy it helps, because your families can't be therapists. And one of our keynote speakers, Dr. East, did talk about that. Like your friends, your family aren't your counselor. What was your take on that, Bianca? What did you think about that?
My thoughts about that, about the speaking in regards to that, was your family can't be your counselor. You have to go out there and seek from a professional that knows about the condition, and also getting multiple references in regards to that, multiple doctors to see different opinions to make sure that what you're receiving and the information that you're getting about your body is what it is. I mean, you can be misdiagnosed. So you need those, real physicians, real doctors in that medical, in that medical field that you're going through, that medical diagnosis that you have. You need to make sure that you're diagnosed correctly is what I'm saying. So to sit there and to listen and to understand what to do, how to do it, and who to see is very critical. It's very critical.
Awesome. Awesome. So my last question I want to ask Bianca is, what's one thing that you took away from the symposium?
Can I give two?
Sure, you can give two.
Okay, so one is help is there if you need it. And this goes back to what you were saying before about, closed mouths don't get fed. I would say this too. You ask, you shall receive. You research, you get. So knowing that the help is there, and the other thing is that you're not alone. There's other people that's going through the same situation, same scenarios, same call, same diagnosis that are out there in a community such as yours that's willing to help, that have resources, that have knowledge, the experience that can help people in those situations.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So this is the part of the show, Bianca, where, it's about you because you are a special guest. So tell the audience where they can find you or follow you.
So you can locate me on Facebook at Versensual, the @ and then Versensual. You also can reach me on my website. Visit our website, www.versensual.com. And that's V as in Victor, IRSENTUAL, versensual.com. We're on social media and our website is up and running. We had couple things. We had to make some changes to it regarding our services, but it is fully running now and you can visit it at any moment.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. So listen, guys, so if you missed out this year's Let's Talk IBD Health and Wellness Symposium, listen, we are going to have the registration page back up soon. We'll announce it in our upcoming episodes when that link is live. If you want to donate to the Stephanie A. Wynn Foundation.org, we will have it in the description notes. There's a link there. If you want to volunteer, we have options for you to volunteer. So we're super excited. We have, Bianca, and I know you're aware of this, but in August, we kick off our outreach programs for the IBD community. These are free lunch and learn series exploring health equity beyond the IBD diagnosis. If you want to volunteer, we have that information too. I'm super excited about it because here's the thing. Our goal here at the Stephanie A. Wynn Foundation is to really and truly get the word out about inflammatory bowel disease within the underserved African American community and any other underserved populations so that you can know, okay, what is it? How do I manage it? How do I cope with this diagnosis? And how do I manage my diet? We definitely have things in place that are coming up and we're super excited about it. And, we want to thank you from the bottom of our heart from the Stephanie A. Wynn Foundation that you took the time and you showed up for the volunteer meetings. You was an amazing executive assistant. From the beginning to the end. You saw us putting this together and it came full circle. So I just want to thank you so very much for being a part of our mission. Thank you so much, Bianca. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for taking the time to interview this morning with us.
Of course. Thank you. And I must say this before I leave. Thank you for having me. What you're doing is amazing. Okay, I have to say that. Even though I tell you off the record, I'm going to tell you now. And I'm going to continue telling you what you're doing is amazing for your community. And to hear about this and to learn, I thrive off of knowledge, and I'm just excited for you and your journey and everything to come. I can't stress it enough. You're doing amazing. And to support and to offer the resources that you are offering to your community.
Yes.
It's incredible.
I thank you so very much. And I want to give a shout out to our sponsors for the symposium. Moffitt Cancer Center, they showed up in a mighty way. Florida Blue, and Evra Health, New York Life, Miss April Dorn, like they showed up in a mighty way and they came out and they supported the symposium. We really thank you, Bianca, for coming on to the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast. I am your host, Stephanie A. Wynn. Until next time, peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Health and Healing from the Inside Out podcast, an online health and wellness podcast where I, your host, Stephanie A. Wynn, will provide weekly wellness tips about inflammatory bowel disease, specifically Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. Be sure to select the subscribe button and let's start the health and healing process from the inside out.